Hey YouTube, it's Cantaloupa. If you want more MotoAmerica content, check out the new and vastly improved MotoAmerica Live Plus app. It's the only place you can catch all the race action in one place all season long. Click the link in the description below.
When the red light's off, we're going. Here we go. Kyle Wyman with a good launch, but it's Troy Herfoss on the Indian factory bike who gets a good launch, but who's going to break? Look at James Rispoli on that special livery on the factory Harley-Davidson going into turn number 1 in second place. So Hog Spoli trying to chase down the Indian on this so important race here for the company.
Same two guys we saw at the front of the Mission King of the Baggers challenge race earlier. Herfoss and Rispoli came across the line, you know, a bike length apart pretty much, Greg. So they're both going to be very comfortable in these conditions. As you see Kyle Wyman there in third, Tyler O'Hara there in fourth. And it's true, Greg, I didn't see Hayden Gillum, our defending national champion, had a big crash in the challenge race earlier on. Vance & Hines' team did a good job of getting that bike back together, but he didn't make it around after the warm-up lap. So let's get back to the racing at the front. These two guys, since the last time they were on the track, Greg, I will say this, the track's got a lot wetter. There's probably going to be a lot more standing water. And just recently I watched Troy Herfoss do a rain race in Australian Superbike on the Ducati that he rides over there. Yeah, they were racing at night in the rain. So the track was all lit up, so I got to watch him do that. So he's not going to be afraid of what he's being faced with today. This is one of the few tracks that Troy Herfoss had seen. Maybe the only track that he had seen coming over to America, and you can look how comfortable he is, Greg. He's already starting to stretch it out ever so slightly over Rispoli, who's stretching it out just a little bit over Wyman. And I believe that's Bobby Fong, who just came off the Superbike right now, literally just got off the Superbike and came straight out onto the grid for this Mission King of the Baggers, running fourth. So he's going to have a little bit of knowledge as the number 50 of exactly what to expect in these conditions, as Rispoli has closed that lead down a lot from the carousel down through that chicane.
So Herfoss from Australia, S&S Indian motorcycle machine. That's the Indian Challenger. And then the battle of Harley-Davidson factory racing on that road glide is James Rispoli. And Rispoli, as the motorcycle's getting a little bit sideways, and Rispoli sends it twitching, so he's going to lose a couple of bike lengths on his charge forward, but he's able to gather it back up. Is the number 43. But Jay, you're right. So we're about 4 hours now of steady rain.
Yeah.
And it really just had started when that challenge race happened earlier in the day. So there's quite a bit of more of the rain on the surface, and it definitely has changed the characteristic of Road America.
Yeah. Here you go, Greg. This is the start, and really the 17. That's all you need to know. He just took off and went out front. The 43 of James Rispoli did a really nice job. On the exit of turn 3, there's a little bit of a puddle there that we've seen a few other classes of riders hit there. So Herfoss looks pretty comfortable, doesn't he?
Yeah, and you can see obviously 4 hours for our camera, but Troy Herfoss leading the way. Hey, betting is now available for MotoAmerica fans. Go to nxtbets.com/playmA for more information. Go visit MotoAmerica.com. Thanks, Hannah. Yeah, I mean, that's the big deal, is how much rain time do you have, Jay? I mean, these bikes are constantly being developed. There's a lot of R&D being done on them, and no matter how much time you have in the rain, when you get to these situations, it's always an experiment when the bike is continuously developing at such a rapid pace.
No, there's no question, and that's exactly what they're doing. And you can see there's Herfoss. He's up the road, Greg, but the teammates here are going to be in a battle pretty shortly. Kyle Wyman can't lose points. That's the biggest thing for the 33 right now, is he doesn't want to lose. Looking at the screen right now, Kyle Wyman is on his personal best lap time right now. As the conditions have gotten worse, he's actually gotten better.
It's so interesting too, Jay, as you talk about the rain, and it looks like it's falling harder than it has. But in terms of like our vision from our booth looking out, it's probably the lightest it's been in the last 3 or 4 hours.
Nah, it's pelting, Greg. I can see it from on the track.
I'm talking about the light, the ambient light itself.
Oh, the ambient light itself.
Bright.
Yeah, it's pretty bright. But yeah, you're right. It's that might be the case, but it's pounding down pretty hard.
Yeah, it's
and
really
Kyle's done a good job. He's closed this gap up to Rispoli, and you know, anytime you get these kind of conditions, they kind of become tests. And you want to try to make your bike as good as you can. So they may have made some changes to the 33 between that challenge race and this race. And looking at the lap times, 2:43 for Herfoss. 244.4 for Kyle Wyman. Oh, James is down, Greg. Big crash for James Rispoli.
Into the gravel trap that he goes. It looks like he's going to be up and okay.
Oh, man. That was a big crash. These are one of those weird crashes where he crashes to the opposite side of the corner that he's coming into. So the front wheel gets a little bit backed in. Now, right now, he's in no man's land. You can see, watch him hit his head here, Greg. At least he hit it on the grass. You know, he hit it on the grass, but the visor's gone. Breaks through that drag specialties soft barrier there. And
white flag flies for Troy Herfoss. It looks like he's got about another 2 minutes and 45 seconds to navigate himself around this very tricky MotoAmerica circuit here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. And there is the gap back to the 33 of Kyle Wyman.
And then if you look back in that mist, I'm sure you're going to see this crazy battle for third place. They've been tied together. O'Hara's got a spot now. Max Flinders is there. Corey West, Jake Lewis. Bobby Fong was in that, so I'm not sure where he is gone, Greg. So Bobby Fong may have fallen back a little bit, but anytime old Max is in the hunt for a podium, it can get exciting. Bobby Fong did go past our commentary position here, so I did see him go through. The Saddlemen guys would love to get up there and sneak out a podium, wouldn't they, Greg? Corey West and Jake Lewis as they go through turn 3.
It's a long lap around here and anything can happen, but I will tell you this, Jason. It's the last time we saw Mission King of the Baggers. This S&S Indian motorcycle team have done some significant testing. And for Tyler O'Hara, he said they improved everything for him on the bike. They improved the braking, they improved the balance of the bike, they improved suspension setups, they improved engine braking, and it's making Tyler O'Hara even more comfortable. And right now for him, with a podium in sight for the number 29 we're talking about, teammate to the number 17 who we're looking at now, it's going to pay dividends for all the work that the S&S Indian team has put together.
No, they've done a good job, and they've got a great rider. I mean, kudos to Indian for going out and picking up Troy Herfoss, and you know, we're also going to see him in the Hooligan Championship as well. We'll see him next on that bike up at the Ridge. But you get a good look at the team there. They've done a good job making him comfortable. And when you get a guy like this with so much experience, who's used to winning and knows how to win, his pedigree of winning Superbike championships and Superbike races in Australia, and he's very well traveled. You know, the experience just shows. And you know, this is what you get. You got a guy with a 10.7 second lead halfway through his last lap, or just about a quarter of a lap left.
Yeah, and he's able to look around and see what's up. And by the way, Jake Lewis has gotten past Max Flinders and Corey West in 4th place as he tries to chase down Tyler O'Hara for that final podium spot. So for Tyler O'Hara, it's not definitely a done deal just yet. There was quite a gap, though, between the two. But for Troy Herfoss, this has been a storybook race. He hasn't put a wheel right. He had one where he was a little bit off track.
Just into turn 5 there, didn't he? Just a little bit.
I mean, who hasn't done that in these conditions? But what an impact he has had on the Mission King of the Baggers Championship. Troy Herfoss has a good look around, and he's wondering where everybody is. And he is going to put his fist in the air as he comes up the start-finish straight and takes the checkered flag and the win ahead of his championship rival, Kyle Wyman. And Wyman brings it home. A solid second place. And here's that battle. Is Jake Lewis going to get as they come over the top of the hill? And it's got to be that close for the Saddlemen racer. And Tyler O'Hara is going to get him by just 0.3 of a second. Jake Lewis so close with a 5.2 second victory over Tyler O'Hara. Jake Lewis just behind him, Corey West, Max Flinders, Bobby Fong, Rocco Landers, and Rispoli, who ended up launching that thing down the road. Let's get down to Hannah, who's in winner's circle, who has a very happy Australian.
Yeah, and also, too, you know, I think, honestly, I believe Troy would like to be in Superbike one day. So we'll see what happens, but it's great to have him here. Kyle showed his experience and smart today, taking the points, not throwing it down the road, not having the pace that Troy had. And he'll be ready. Tomorrow will be a different day. There's going to be a battle.